Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the international edition of BP Geographic News. Neutral, clear, positive. See both sides of the story in September 2023. The BRICS countries have held a summit from 22nd to 24th of August, and they decided to add 6 countries. Now let's have a look at the basics. What is BRICS? So BRICS started in 2006 as BRIC, B-R-I-C, that are the initials of the 4 founding countries, and that are here Brazil, Russia, India and China. And interesting is actually that 2 presidents were the same as nowadays, that are first of all, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, or shortly known as Presidente Lula, and President Vladimir Putin. And in 2010, then South Africa was added, and then the whole thing was renamed BRICS with the addition of the S for South Africa. Interesting is that these 5 nations that are currently forming BRICS already encompass 27% of the world's land surface and 42% of the world's population. Actually, with the addition of these 6 other countries, they will have the majority of the world's population. And BRICS is a bit like, can be seen as a rival of G7 and an alternative to American hegemony, as especially Russia and China see it, especially nowadays. Brazil, India and South Africa are a little bit more reserved about that. BRICS is anyway mostly about trade, about growth of their local economies. And they're holding summits to talk about their policies. And also what they talked about and what they are planning to do now is an alternative currency, an alternative to the petrodollar. Because currently the US dollar is still used in most parts of the world as a trading currency, and especially, of course, for trading oil and gas. That's why it's sometimes called petrodollar. And of course, it would be good for BRICS, first of all, for BRICS to have an alternative, an own trading currency. Currently, they are already using their own currencies to trade goods among each other. But now they are planning a new currency for doing so. And this is also attractive for many other countries in the world. And that's why 20 countries have applied to join BRICS. Another 16 were interested. So, and interesting is most of them have applied last year and this year because they noticed that that resistance to the US is possible nowadays. And since the US are kind of controlling parts of the world, as they want to be the world power number 1. And that is, but unlike a decade ago, such resistance would not have been a good idea. Maybe I make a video about that another time. But nowadays, it seems nowadays it is possible. And that's why so many countries see BRICS as the future. And BRICS is a community of equality. And they are treating each member equally, and they have this policy of non-interference in other countries' matters. So it could be the future for this world, for more equality and like a multipolar world. And now it's so that 6 of these 20 countries that have applied are invited to join in January 2024. Means they are going to join in January 2024. And that are Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. Now, Egypt and the United Arab Emirates have already, they are already members of the new development bank, that is the Bank of BRICS, so that makes sense. Then Brazil supported Argentina to be added. And also actually Argentina, they have been among the first countries to apply for BRICS membership. And then Iran and Saudi Arabia also make some sense that they were added, because Iran is kind of, one could say, an enemy of the US, while Saudi Arabia, they were actually former partner, but now they prefer to make their own decisions. And actually, when the US asked Saudi Arabia to increase their oil production, then they actually lowered the oil production to increase the price. So they are really making their own decisions now. And yeah, and they also actually started already to trade oil with some other countries in the world in other currencies other than the US dollar. Now that question is, why were Ethiopia added to BRICS? That is not so clear, but there will be future expansions, and because actually the thing is that other countries had applied before Ethiopia, and otherwise it's also not so clear why. But of course it is always good that to have another African country in BRICS, and African countries, they need to also start to become more independent, because there's still a lot of neocolonialism right now. Future expansions will happen, and then probably during the next one after January 2024, then maybe Algeria might be added, since they have applied also very early. They were among the first. So that much about BRICS for now, and so more news in the later episodes, the next days of BP Geographic News. So have a nice rest of the day, or nice morning, nice evening, whenever you're watching this or wherever you are in the world. More probably tomorrow.